Kung Fu warrior. Let me continue this. Yeah. So he always wanted to be a Kung Fu warrior, but maybe he was stuck in his personal life or noodle making, so he couldn't go for it. Then there this one particular event occurs where the master of Kung Fu was to be elected. So here you can see the turtle. He was to choose one of the master for Kung Fu warrior, and another master, Master Shifu, was the one who was training this particular team. So this is how this entire setup is done. Now, coming to this character Tai Lung, he is actually the villain in this movie, and the goal was to save citizen from Tai Lung. Now, what happens is, since accidentally Po fell down in the arena, due to which what happens, there is a lot of storm within the entire villagers and the warriors who are already fighting for it, who were prepared, who were struggling hard, performing everything possible to become that warrior, but accidentally Po gets that particular reward. So now how to make him, how to enable him was the question. So I'll just play a short video of 2 minutes.
Master. I have, it's very bad news.
Shifu, there is just news. There is no good or bad.
Master, your vision was right. Tai Lung has broken out of prison. He's on his way.
That is bad news. If you do not believe that the Dragon Warrior can stop him.
The panda? Master, that panda is not the Dragon Warrior. He wasn't even meant to be here. It was an accident.
There are no accidents.
Yes, I know. You've said that already. Twice.
Well, that was no accident either.
Thrice.
My old friend, the panda will never fulfill his destiny, nor you yours, until you let go of the illusion of control.
Illusion?
Yes. Look at this tree, Shifu. I cannot make it blossom when it suits me, nor make it bear fruit before its time.
But there are things we can control. I can control when the fruit will fall. And I can control where to plant the seed. That is no illusion, Master.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it for a second. So as you can see, Master Shifu, who is actually, I have mapped it with the Scrum Master, is not ready to believe that Panda could actually perform. So this is a general scenario which we see in a team setup, that there is a team already working who are trained and who are aware of what needs to be done. But suddenly a new team member comes into the picture, then entire chemistry goes haywire. So how to resolve it? Like, it was not foreseen by Scrum Master, right? So this is something out of control. So that's why he is having that illusion of control, or you can say that fear within himself, or maybe the insecurity that how we are going to win against Tai Lung. And at the same time, if you will notice, the Tai Lung is also, who is the villain, who also got out from the prison. So two accidents happened without even for seeing these outcomes, right? So now I'll play it again.
Ah, yes. But no matter what you do, that seed will grow to be a peach tree. You may wish for an apple or an orange, but you will get a peach.
But a peach cannot defeat Tai Lung.
Maybe it can, if you are willing to guide it, to nurture it, to believe in it.
But how? How? I need your help, Master.
No, you just need to believe. Promise me, Shifu. Promise me you will believe.
I will try.
Good.
Okay, so thanks for watching. Now coming back to the topic again, as you have seen, the Scrum Master He said, I will try. So definitely you should give it a try. You should believe in your team members and you should look forward how you can enable them. That is the main key to, to go for a mature or a good teamwork. So moving on. What happens in this story? I will just talk more about this actual movie. So what happens? Scrum Master here, the Master Shifu, gets to know that Po will understand the language of food. So he motivates him to eat the food, and through that he teach him about the way of kung fu, and then he becomes a kung fu warrior and defeats Tai Lung in the movie. So moving on, I would like to relate it with the Tuckman model of Kung Fu Panda, which I have created. So as you can see, the team effectiveness got increased. How you can increase the team effectiveness with the time? So first, the actual team was formed where the tigress, monkey, the famous five, they were part of the actual or original team. Then accidentally, Po fell under the arena and he was the chosen one, due to which the entire storm appeared. And then Po tried his best to showcase that, okay, believe in me, I am doing hard work, I want to be part of the team. But nobody believed him. Then what happened? Then the interaction between Master Rugu and Master Shifu happened. And then Master Shifu learned that, okay, the only way to make Panda work is by food. So with that, the performing started, and then they successfully adjourned in the movie and defeated Tai Lung and saved China. So as you can see, this is how you have to let go of the illusion of control, and you just have to believe. So now coming back to our technical terms, let me go forward. So there are multiple types of control which I'm going to talk about in this particular slide. Uh, First one, through research, I got to know that there are different controls which we can categorize as per psychology. So here, the first one is output control. So when we talk about output or perceived control, it is nothing but the perception of achieving outcome. So when we talk from agile perspective, we all know about our product goal, or maybe we know about our sprint goal, but there are fair chance that some or the other thing might impact the sprint goal. So we may feel that we are controlling our sprint, or maybe we have done the perfect capacity planning, we are following everything, and still some or the other thing might happen and affect the product goal, right, or the sprint goal. So if we have to take an example of COVID, there might be a fair chance that some hotelier or restaurant got opened just before COVID, but then COVID happened, lockdown happened. It was something unforeseen and nobody would have thought of such an outcome, right? And it impacted badly, right? It impacted all of us. So there are few things which you cannot control. The next one is clan control. So inside clan control, there are two types of control: situational control and social control. Now, talking about situational control, it is nothing but the degree to which the situation provides the leader with potential influence over the group's behavior. So again, taking the same example, let's say in a sprint time, though even after planning for a good capacity, like after doing a good capacity plan, still there might be some error or something which comes as an urgent thing, right? Like an urgent story or a critical story or a critical bug which needs to be fixed. And whatever time we would have thought, like maybe 20% of time to such kind of activities, but still it might go over that. So it gradually going to impact our sprint goal or our release process. So that was situational control. Now coming to social control, it is more of selecting one's environment for personal benefit. So in a team, we always think from a we perspective rather than thinking about I. So when I say we have seen, or most of us have faced this particular problem, that blame game starts or pointing fingers kind of thing starts when we go to a conflict management or when there is a conflict. So to avoid that, you have to believe in team, you have to make them aware that there is no I. Instead of that, it is more of a we thing, because all the team members are responsible for the sprint goal, and at the end we are going to achieve the product goal, right? The third one is behavioral control. So there are two type of behavioral control: cognitive control and emotional control. So these are more or less similar. So when we talk about cognitive control, it is more of a cognitive bias basis, like putting one thought and just going to act on that. So more of like, to give an example, if a product owner will start talking about how to do it instead of what to do it, then it is going to stop the creativity of individual, right? Instead of that, a product owner should always talk about what to do it, and leave it up to the developers to bring their own innovation or creativity, like how they are going to perform. So this is very important to have a cognitive bias. And then the emotional control. So definitely we have to think from an emotional control, whether we are whether it is regulating one's feeling or attitude. So when we say emotional control, it is more of a self management. Let team give that breathing space, or let them be in their bubble to self manage, come up with the innovative ideas and talk more about it. So this is how we are going to empower them, right? So to give an example, as Ashutosh started with, so when I created that vegetable list, it was not something that I created it just like that, and it started, uh, it was an effort from my side, because I could understand that my husband is not able to understand what actually I need. So I had to empower him. I had to tell him that, okay, this is what I want. Um, and this is how, this is something which I'm looking for. So how to bring it was entirely up to him. Maybe bad potatoes, rotten potatoes, but yeah, that is completely fine. So you have to believe in your team. You have to just guide them. You have to enable them. So this was all about control. So you have to let go of that control. All these controls might be good, might not be good, but you have to understand there is a thin line between controlling and, over controlling. So it's not about controlling or over controlling. It is more of how transparent, or how good you are with the people. If you will control more, then it is at the end going to suffocate them. So let me move on to the next slide. So what could be the solution? So first of all, when we talk about solution, we have to think that what can you control? So in the previous scenario, when I talk about, when you think of a product, and or maybe when you think of launching a new restaurant chain, and you end up having COVID, so you really cannot control anything. So it's like, you almost nothing you can control, right? And then when we talk about what is beyond your control, so it is everything, because you cannot foresee some changes, or you cannot foresee anything. So you may have some risk checklist or maybe mitigation plan around that, but when you um, actually try to work on that, then you realize that you cannot control, and everything is beyond your control. For example, if I plan something for a sprint, and due to some reason some of the team members are on leave, which was completely unforeseen, then you cannot control it. You have to be transparent about it with your stakeholders. You have to make them understand that, okay, this is something which happened and this is beyond our control, and this is how we are planning to go ahead. Now the next question is, what can you influence? So it's a simple mathematical statement: everything minus nothing. So with that, what I meant is, you can influence everyone to work, or maybe you can influence people, or maybe you can empower them. You can be a true leader, but you shouldn't control. So this is the thin line between controlling and a good leadership. Okay, so now coming to the important topic, one of the solution, or which we foresee, is the psychological safety. So even if it is during the COVID norms or maybe non-COVID norms, in general life also, you should do some health checks regularly. First of all, to show psychological safety. When you say psychological safety, let me coin that term. So psychological safety is nothing but having trust or belief or transparency in your team, or making the people secure about everything. So why do we need psychological safety? So first of all, there might be some insecurity or perception of being superior with few people, and due to which it might be causing some trouble to the team. So first, you will have to check with that person as well as the team how they can feel safe during such an environment. So so for that you have to go for some health checks. You can find many tools available on internet like Reitro, where you can perform health check. You can check the actual health of team by bringing the points like how much trust do they have in their team, or maybe how transparent is their team, do they feel isolated, do they have any conflicts. There are multiple things which you can with which you can check the psychological safety. And the next would be to go for a fun conference. Like it is more of making your team more productive, or I should say hyper productive. What you can do, especially in such COVID norms, is you can go for some fun conference. You can set up some agile games or just games in general, maybe a Pictionary kind of thing, to make them close to yourself. Because the challenge which we are facing, especially in this virtual setup, that you are not able to have a face-to-face conversation. But at the same time, if you look at, it's good that we are in virtual conversation, because you take some time to think before responding. And also during fun conf, you are like you are going to talk more about fun, rather than it give you some breathing time to interact with team members or knowing them personally. So that helps. And another way is to go for a fun retrospective. So in my team, I went for some movie theme based, like Jai Viru to save Basanti, and what would be the action items. So likewise, Jai Viru like the hero, and Gabbar as a villain, like what you should avoid. And the action items were to get the Basanti. So, I mean, you can come up with any kind of fun retro engagement. Another important point is to think from a reward and recognition perspective. So, what we started in our team, I floated this idea that, okay, why not to go for a fitness regime? So my manager shared one of the app with all the team members, where we are just tracking it for fun. Daily, they are I'm excluding myself because I'm not performing that, but yeah, my team members, they what they are doing, they are daily sharing their fitness activity, and it is giving a sense of healthy competition within the team members. So this is something which you should start for, to look at a positive health for or positive well-being for your team members. And another one which we are planning to start based on COVID norms is to reward with some maybe order something from Domino's or Swiggy. I know it is completely contradicting with what we thought about fitness regime, but yeah, it's good to have that kind of reward and recognition within the team. So yeah, with that, I'll move to the next slide. Okay, so when we talk about next steps, so the only thing which we have to believe is having the trust within the team members, because whether it is COVID or maybe it is a non-COVID situation, what is more important is to have the trust. Now, currently, what is happening? The managers who used to sit around you are missing that fun of doing micromanagement. I'm not saying all the managers are like that. Things are changing, but there are few managers who feel that, oh, I'm not able to see what other person is doing, or maybe whether that person is in meeting or not, why he's not in the meeting, or why there are no updates. So all those kind of micromanagement, they are missing. So maybe it could be one of their insecurity. Maybe they are fearing that product, we might not reach the product goal. So only thing which you as a manager or a servant leader or as an agile coach is to do, is to enable the trust within the team. You can help team collaborate more, give team space, or give team the platform where they can talk about innovation. They can share innovative ideas maybe within the story. And as in agile we say, it's okay to fail. Let them fail, let them come up with some or the other idea or some other plan. If they want to go for some other option to implement the solution, it should be a complete open platform for them. And also we should go for the survey to check their health status, or if they are not able to speak in front of everyone, or they are not comfortable talking about any or giving answers to any topic, then we should open such survey where they can post anonymously and they can talk uh, honestly about it. And the last one would be the conflict management, because it is very important. We can see even in virtual setup that there are some conflicts. So we should set up a stage where the conflict could be resolved by again showing the trust. Now I'll move to the next slide. This is also again from Kung Fu Panda. So it says like this character is particularly the father of Panda, and he makes the delicious noodle with the secret ingredient. So he says that to make something special, you just have to believe that it's special. So same thing goes with the team. If you feel that your team is special, then only they will start believing in themselves. They can perform anything, but if you will keep on rejecting, and or if you will try to control them, then it will end up in nothing but you will suffocate them. So with that, I would like to thanks Ashutosh for the platform, and now maybe we can open with the question answer.
Thanks, Ira. I think it was a wonderful session, and I think yes, I mean I really like the Tuckman's model of team building, what you have tried to bring out here. Okay, I think we'll open up the floor for question. Just a bit of advice to everyone. Please, yeah, we have time for Q&A. So please unmute yourself and one by one, I mean, if you can ask questions to Ira to take it forward. So, and if you can come on video, nothing like it when you're asking a question. And yeah, one more request, if you can introduce yourself, where you're working, what's the role, and then you can ask a question to Ira. Yeah, now you can unmute yourself. Anyone who would like to ask any question on this topic. Or you can also type it in the chat window in case.
Hi, my name is Veda here. I'd like to pose a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Veda. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Ira. Thank you for the presentation. My question will be based on how do you manage, because when we say we need to allow a team to learn naturally, correct? An individual or a team to learn at a natural pace. Right. It means the learning time is very subjective. Somebody learns in 2 days and someone else will learn 2 months, and it goes on, right? Right. We as an organization who is driven by profit has time attached to any growth of an individual. Right. How do you balance this? Because we might say, okay, I believe in the team, let them grow, It took a month or it could take a year, but how do you, because we need to still answer to our stakeholders or to our management, where are we heading with this, correct? So how do you balance this?
So first of all, you will have to give them the platform to learn, because like in Agile, we do create the spike stories where suppose there is one, some solution is required, but we are really not aware of what needs to be done. So in that case, you should go for some research. And for that research, you will have to give time to the developer, because it might be a new technology or maybe something entirely new where team is not aware. Then how you can enable it? So you will have to have trust in your team member, as well as you will have to keep that, you will have to have that transparency with your stakeholders. You will have to inform them that, okay, our team, this particular technology is new, and we are looking for some trainings around it. And while going through the training, we are going to work on the story. It will be more like plug and play kind of scenario. So you should, during the capacity plan, maybe you will have to give some 10 to 15% time for learning curve, and some percentage for plug and play. And during this particular, you know, flow, everyone can contribute. If they are learning something new, maybe you can keep some sessions around it, what you have learned, or maybe some you know, innovative ideas that which can flow. Maybe this option is good, some other team members. So basically it all needs to be groomed up in a positive or constructive way. That's what I can think of. So cost, I agree, there will be cost. I agree there will be other factors too, but the transparency and trust, inspect and adopt, all these things are the key to go ahead. I
Thanks,
hope
Ira.
it answers.
Thanks, Vedant. Yeah. Anyone else? I mean, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Yeah, Ashutosh,
Yes,
this
yes.
is Swapna.
Yeah, go ahead.
So actually, I had a similar question like Veda asked, right? But I would say that is the extension of the question. When resources, when control happen, you know, actually, when resources are limited, then that control takes place more, I guess. Because when businesses are small, or when I would say the budgets are the budget constraints are there, so then the control happen more. Means every scenario or every domain it happens there. So that time, how to let that illusion go away? Because I really cannot, mean psychological safety I would like to provide, but then I know what resources I am having, and I cannot afford providing that psychological safety. So
that's true.
Yeah.
So the first question would be, are you agile? I mean, why I'm asking this question is because if you are agile, then you will have to learn it that it's okay to fail. When I say it's okay to fail, because maybe you will build a product and it might end up with not working because there are some unforeseen scenarios. So again, it is going to impact the cost. So that's why we say it's okay to fail. It's okay to give some learning time, because at the end it is going to give you a quality product. So we should keep that particular thing in mind, that okay, maybe the team is small, and maybe we are very, you know, working on a very cost effective thing. But how agile you are is the question to ask for, because that is how we can go ahead.
To answer that, I can say when you are spending money, I'm 100% agile. But when I'm spending money, I have a limit to be agile.
Right. I mean, it is going to be a vicious circle. So you have to be more of a leader. You have to enable them. You have to empower your team that whatever they are doing, and they are doing it good, and it is going to help the team. So they should have the common goal, or the vision should be common for the entire team. In that way only your team and your company will succeed. So that is more important, if they also feel what you feel, and it is more of an empathy thing.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else with a question to our panel, to our speaker? So maybe, while people think about that question, how did this idea came to your mind to write this blog, Ira, on that very pertinent topic?
I was actually thinking of more of hyper productivity or productivity, and then I realized there are few things which are controlling our productivity, right? And from there, this particular thought came into my mind that we should let go of all this illusion of control, because we are trying to control ourselves, but we should be more of we should free it, because the creativity comes when you are not in control. There has to be some clear idea. You should feel how other person is feeling, but controlling them and demanding, okay, where are we with the status, or in daily stand-up, if we directly ask, okay, you talked about 2 hours and you are not delivering it. So this is more of a controlling situation which we feel. We should rather help them understand what could be the possible impediment which is causing the delay. So you have to empower. That is the key here. So that's why I thought that this would be a good topic, because everywhere we see control, we are getting stressed because of the control. There are many things which are currently going on with work-life balance. It is kind of imbalanced these days. So that's why I thought of bringing this topic.
Okay. Anyone else? Any question? Yeah. Anyone else? I mean, feel free to ask. I mean, it's your forum. Okay. Surprisingly, people are silent today. I don't know. Is it because of weekend? Okay. One more question then from my side, Ira.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
What motivated you to write that blog, that very interesting blog on shopping list?
Okay. So when we got married, and I was thinking that my husband will help me. He used to help me to buy vegetables and everything, but the end result or the outcome was not up to my mark, I should say. So then I thought, rather than, I mean, initially I started cribbing, oh, you can't buy vegetables, or you can't buy vegetables like this or that. But then I thought, let me help him out. Let me think of a way so that he can understand. And then visual thinking or creativity was the best possible solution which I could come up with. And with that, I created those little, vegetable drawings, and put some notes that, okay, this is how I wanted, this is what you should look out for while shopping. And it helped. So that was easy way out without making a fuss about it. So that's how I came up with that grocery list.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there's a question on chat.
Yeah.
Veda, go ahead. You can ask question. Absolutely.
Please, Veda. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I didn't want to hog the time, but seeing looks like I might have another opportunity. So, based on what I hear, the organization that you work is a mature organization that they allow. I assume because having no control, maybe
Yeah.
or not say no control, they allow flexibility, right?
Yeah.
So does this environment or situation came overnight, or it took some sort of maturing, or are you still maturing? Do you still have challenge convincing your management, saying that we need to allow the team to experiment?
Okay, so that's a very good question, Veda. First thing is, you cannot go over a night and talk about, okay, this is the change which I want to bring in my team. First of all, you have to come up with a case study or maybe the scenario. So when I figure out there were multiple factors which were impacting the team, I went to my manager and talked about it. Like, for example, the product owner was giving the estimates or manual effort time instead of team themselves giving it. So I felt that it is more of a controlling thing. So then I decided, okay, let me talk about this particular topic. Then I realized that there was another point where, as you said, like learning curve. So there was another point where team wanted to learn, but the trainings were not there, and we ended up having spillover stories in the next sprint, and again in the next sprint, and again in the next sprint. So all those kind of scenarios helped me in bringing this particular point, helping me to identify and bringing this to my manager that, okay, this is where we are lacking, and if we are planning to go ahead, this is not going to help because there is a criticality, there is a dependency. So what we started with 1 hour session of like thrice a week, and we started with the training program, and then we asked team, like we opened it for all the team members, and even in the company it is open, like you can see the learning sessions which happen in the organizations, right? So we opened it for all the employees of company, and from there we started, and then we asked team to specifically check for the questions which they are looking for if they are getting problem while working on the story. So that helped. I hope I answered, Veda.
Yeah. Thank you. So I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, anyone, any questions? I mean, any questions for our speaker? Yeah, Sriram, I think you have something, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Ashutosh. So this is regarding that forming, storming, norming, and performing, right? Like,
yeah.
So I see like from what I got from your lecture is like bringing in a new person into this team is not in the control of the team. Correct. Or should it be in the control of the team? That's my question.
Okay, it definitely it won't be in the control of the team. If you need like to save the time from learning skill, if you can find a person who is already skilled enough and you feel that he would be suitable to be introduced in the team, then you might I mean, this is just one of the workaround. You are not going to hire all the team members based on their skills. It is not going to be like that. But considering this possible scenario that somebody is good with particular skills and your team is struggling, so what you can do, you can bring that person to the team and help your team as well to, you know, cross collaborate, to learn and to perform well, and you know, in the end um, to succeed, right? So this could be one possible scenario to bring the team members. So it's not always that you are going to add up team, because we have to think from other perspective. But yeah, definitely if a new team member joins, then there are various onboarding process which we have to go through. Some people spend 1 month time just to onboard the person with where we are, what is going on, some training sessions, or you know, spending a lot of time on that resource. So definitely it takes a toil. It's kind of a toil for the team. So
my
it's
question
not
is like, why not we delegate some of the things to the team, because they know what is the requirement, they better know. So we are moving from that self-organized team into self-managed teams, right? Like, right. So I know what my team needs. Okay, right. We know we are lacking some of these things. Why right. not we take the control of that? Like at least we share the control of that.
But why you want to control it? That's my question.
Control.
Yeah.
Control is like, okay, taking the opportunity to get a new person in.
Right. So it's completely up to you. If you don't want a new person, but if you feel that your team is empowered enough that they could work on that new skill, then definitely you should go ahead with
not work on the new skill. I know, like, okay, this person is good at the new skill.
Yeah.
So that skill is not the only thing. As a team, they need other things also.
Right.
So they have the go in asking, right? Like, I need, apart from that skill, because of the skill you are bringing in him. But we need the other things for him to be in our team, right? Like,
right. So if you can explain me what other things, so in that way, maybe I could answer in a better way.
No, actually the team understanding, right? Like a common goal, like okay, easy a team player.
Right. So yes,
he's a specialist and easy a team player. And if we have some other issues in our skill sets, easy capable of getting into the T-shaped skill and help the team also. So these things should be also considered, right?
Right, definitely. So all these things, if you feel that your team is mature enough or is capable of enough of working on the common goal, then definitely you don't want that you know, turmoil in your team. You can go ahead with them and they can start working on it. So definitely it's up to what should I say, a team's call, whether they want a new team member or not. If they feel they are sufficient enough, if they are a team player, if they are capable of working on new technology and they are okay to go ahead, then definitely it would be their call. We shouldn't be controlling, or team shouldn't be controlling that.
Yeah, it is not a controlling. Actually, it is like a win-win for both. Like management should have be considered, and then it's a together. It's again a bigger teamwork. Team working with the management to get a right person in. Right,
exactly. So is it something where you feel that the management is pushing new team members in the team?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm
okay. then it's a different case. You might have to go back to them and check like what is the necessity. Is current team failing somewhere? It's okay to go for a open feedback, like what we did. Just to share, there are surveys, right? PSS surveys and CSS surveys. So we took that survey and we got to know, or from the Pulse survey, that where our management is lacking, because the team give honest response. So when we realized where we are lacking and what all things we could improvise, we opened a survey or a survey meter, Mentimeter for them. So there we got many feedback, like starting with increasing in salary to how we can improvise. So we gave that platform. So similarly, we are looking for a 360-degree feedback. So if your manager feel that new team members to be added, then you have to check with them that, okay, what is the need? Is something wrong with the current team? Are we looking for entire new team setup, or how we want to go ahead with that? So if we have that clear picture, maybe you can be transparent. You have to be transparent with your team. You can go back and talk, okay, this is the feedback we have got, what we can do. Maybe you can create some POC so that you can showcase to the management, okay, see, we are worthy and we are doing it just fine. So in that way, you will have that trust with your team as well as your manager. And then maybe it will help you in stopping that hiring
Yes,
thing.
same in the Kung Fu Panda, right?
Yeah.
It is like, okay, the problem is, right, like they don't know about the panda. That's
right.
why this thing is repulsed from the team and repulsed from the Scrum Master.
Right.
Everything is coming there.
Right. I mean,
at least if I know, like, what is the capability of that,
right,
and do we have a ask in it, like can we also raise our voice in that?
Right. It all comes to the psychological safety. Like as you said, team might be insecure. Oh, this new team member is going to come. What exactly. He's going to do with us, or they will be like,
they already judged him. Like, he's an incapable guy.
Exactly, they will judge. So you have to make them aware. Okay, this is not something a competition. We have a common goal we have to look at. We don't want any competition. So that kind of culture we have to bring in our team.
That's good in Kung Fu Panda, but in real life, if somebody is jumping in your team without knowing anybody, I want this. And
I feel team should have a say to know.
Exactly.
Yeah, team should have a say to know that, okay, we don't need it. We are capable enough.
Interesting conversation. I think there's a good comment from Kiran for you, Ira. This is a really great session, Ira. Great learning experience, quite innovative.
Thank you so much, Kiran.
Yeah, and we'll take one more question. I think we have room for one last question. Anyone would like to go? Someone who has not asked question so far?
So if there is a new person asking question, I'll keep myself mute. Otherwise, I will go.
Yeah. Anyone would like to take that opportunity? Okay, I think people are silent. Okay, I think Swapna, you get that chance.
Yeah. So I would just like to know how we can associate accountability with control illusion.
Okay.
In agile way, I would say. Yeah.
Right. So when you say accountability, it is something where every team member is accountable for their own work. You have to set very clear understanding between roles and responsibility for each team members, because in nowadays you can see that we end up doing more work just because we have the unclarity of roles and responsibilities. So first of all, it is very important to have a clear expectation, what exactly you are looking for, what role we are looking for, what would be the skills. When I say skills, I'm not saying that you don't have to be cross functional, but at the same time, accountability is something which each team member should have. Like if we are not going to deliver a sprint goal, then we all are accountable for it. It is not something for a one person, or it is more of a team effort. So everyone is accountable or responsible for what outcome we are looking for. So I hope that answers your question, Swapna.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think we are at the top of the, almost at the top of the hour. So first of all, once again, thanks, Ira. Yeah, I'll just need to share my screen for a moment, Ira, if
Yeah,
that's
sure.
fine.
I'll stop sharing.
Okay, so yeah, so once again, thanks, Ira, and yeah, I mean, once again, thanks the participants also for asking those very creative and inquisitive questions. So this is a session just for the benefit of all. I know some of you have joined in new for the first time. I try to make it every Friday, though I'm not successful always. There are some prior commitments. Sometimes there are calls which happen, but I try to come every Friday. Either I come or some speaker comes and I talk about some of the topics which we all are experiencing. In case you are interested, you can subscribe to my channel. I have pinged in the link there in the chat box. There are past sessions of also happy hour of coaching which are there, and do watch and give your critical feedback on this. And I would now like to also call Swapna and speak for a moment before we finally wrap up this session. Yeah, Swapna, over to you.
Yeah. So thanks, Ira, for joining us on this platform. And it was really innovative session, innovative. And I would say we had a good discussion around that topic. So a small appreciation token, I would say we would like to hand it over to you. And thanks once again for this absolutely wonderful session and thought-provoking session. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Swapna and Ashutosh. Thanks for the certificate. I'm happy to be part of this happy hour.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So anyone would like to come on a video quickly? I mean, one last chance. Anyone would like to come on a video? Feel free to come. I mean, I know we understand that this is one of the most challenging things in the COVID world, but we do encourage our teams to come, right? I think we tell in our office that you should come on a video. Yeah. Hi, Sriram. Yeah, nice to have you. Okay. So once again, thanks everyone for making this a memorable event, and a special thanks to Ira also for, sharing her pearls of wisdom. And yeah, I mean, keep watching this space. We have more speakers lined up. We have more interesting topics coming up in near future. So do stay connected, and most importantly, stay healthy, stay safe. Hope to see you in some live conference. Now, I think even I'm bored of doing online conferences, online events. So I'm also eagerly waiting for this thing to get over and meet in some of the conferences, what used to happen BC, right? Before COVID, as we say. So once again, thanks everyone, and happy Friday evening and a very happy weekend to all of you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you all. Very thoughtful.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Happy weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.